Uh, God honors those that honors His Son. Okay. And He's not unjust, as Hebrews says, to forget your labor and your love and how you minister and do minister to the saints. Okay. This where you want the honor to come from is God Himself. That's where it counts. He says, my soul is troubled, and what shall I say? Father, save me from this hour? Well, the answer is no. No. That's why He came. For this purpose I came to this hour. Father, glorify your name. Then a voice came from heaven and said, I have both glorified it and will glorify it again. Therefore, the people who stood by heard it said that it had thundered. In other words, they didn't really hear clarity what was said. Jesus did. Therefore, the people who stood by heard it said, thunder. Others said, angels spoke to him. Jesus answered, this voice did not come because of me, but for your sake. Now there's the judgment of this world. Now the ruler of this world will be cast out. And if I be lifted up from the earth, I will draw all people or men unto me. If I be lifted up, honored, glorified. And notice the ruler of this world. The ruler of this world is Satan. Now, let's define world so that you'll be clear what the Bible talks about when it's talking about world. It's talking about the system, philosophy, beliefs that is controlled by Satan. Okay? It's an anti-God system that's under the domination of Satan. That's why He tells us to love not the world, the things that are in the world. That's why you got all these beliefs and ideologies and philosophies that are coming into the culture. You know, you got gender fluidity, which is sick. Where you can biologically be a man and identify as a woman. And they say that's wrong. Because all of that is under the system of Satan. And if you disagree with it, you're racist. Which transgenderism is not a race. Homosexuality is not a race.
No, it's not.
Your race is according to your birth. Nobody's born transgender.
Come on.
And nobody's born gay. Be clear on that.
Amen.
Unless you stand against God and believe otherwise.
All right.
This, he said, signified his death he would die. And people answered him and said, we have heard from the law that Christ remains forever. How can you say the Son of Man must be lifted up? Who is the Son of Man? Then Jesus said to him, a little while longer the light is with you. Walk while you have the light, lest darkness overtake you. And he who walks in darkness does not know where he's going. While you have the light, believe in the light, that you may become sons of the light. Okay. Now, when we lift up Jesus, Son of Man must be lifted up. He must be crucified. And in that death, he's going to bring many sons and daughters to glory. Turn to Hebrews chapter 2 in your Bibles and just kind of compare notes here. Hebrews chapter 2, verse 9. But we do see him, that is Jesus, who has been made for a little while lower than the angels, namely Jesus, because of the suffering of what?
Yeah.
Crown of glory and honor, that by the grace of God, he might do what?
For everyone.
Notice, for it was fitting for him, that is God the Father, for whom are all things, to whom are all things, and bringing many what?
Sons to glory.
Many sons of glory, to perfect the author of their salvation through suffering. So the death of Jesus Christ will bring what? How many sons and daughters? Many. So if the grain of wheat died, if the seed died, the grain falls to the ground and dies, right? Eventually it's going to do what? Rise up and have much fruit. So the death, resurrection of Jesus bringing many sons and daughters to glory. So he says, while it's light, walk in the light. Believe in the light. Because when it's dark, you can't see. Right? So now's the time to be trusting Jesus. Yes.
You talking about when stuff when you die,
Yeah.
you can't do nothing. Too late.
Yeah. It's too late. Yeah. It's too late then. Yeah. You can't, you don't believe before you leave, man. You can't believe after you leave. Because dead people don't believe. But although he had done many signs before them, they did not believe in him, that the word of Isaiah the prophet might be fulfilled, which he spoke, Lord, who has believed our report? And to whom has the arm of the Lord been revealed? Let me park here just a second. Jesus made a staggering, John makes a staggering announcement. Please don't gloss over. It runs counter to what many of us believe in here. It says, although he did so many signs in their presence, they did not believe. Because miracles do not produce faith. You got it now?
I got that one.
When people want miracles, they're not going to believe. They're going to want more miracles.
That's right.
That's what Jesus said in Matthew 16. And even an adulterous generation seeks after signs. So they're going to say, do it again.
Amen.
Do it again. Let me see it again. You do it again. Let me see it. I didn't get it that time. Can you do it one more time? Huh? And so people, what are people in the church that they're looking for? Miracles. What are they looking for? They're looking for some display of the power of God. Then they said, if I just see that, I believe. No, you won't. You will believe. Even one of your relatives got up out the grave and come knock on your door. You said, no, it ain't him, but you sure look like him. You look like him now, but I know I buried him last month. Because miracles don't produce faith. Please tell the people that miracles don't produce faith. No matter how many miracles Jesus did, folks still didn't believe.
In fact, they hated him.
Yeah. The miracles that Jesus did wasn't designed to produce faith. It was to verify to the people that he was who he said he was. Yeah. And he's quoting Isaiah, who has believed our report, to whom has the arm of the Lord, the strength of God, the power of the Lord been revealed. Therefore they could not believe, because Isaiah said he has blinded their eyes and hardened their hearts, lest they see with their eyes, lest they should understand with their hearts and turn, so that I should heal them. These things Isaiah said when he saw his glory and spoke of him. Wow. There is what we call in theological circles, a judicial blindness. Now what that means is when a person refuses to see what God is trying to show him, God will fix it when he cannot see it. Judicial. J-U-D-I-C-I-A-L. C-I-A-L. Judicial. Yeah. It's a judgment.
Yeah.
Yes. It's judicial. When a person, they can go so far, God can give them so much, and they refuse to believe what God has given them, to see what God has given them, then that's what he says right here. He has blinded their eyes. But he is God. God is doing the blinding. God is doing the hardening of the heart. Because they crossed that line.
Did you say that would be come upon them that turn them over to a reprobated mind?
All of that is it's the same thing that's happening. Same thing that's happening.
All right.
Where they refuse to see, like Pharaoh. Five times Pharaoh hardened his own heart. And in the sixth time, God started doing it.
All right.
You crossed that line. Now I don't know what the line is. Because it's different in each individual's case. Okay. But this is what he's saying here, is that God has given you so much, so many signs. You refuse to believe even for the signs. So now I'm just going to blind you. Spiritually. So you cannot see the truth. Lest they come to their senses and repent. And God says, I heal them and let them see. Therefore, these things Isaiah said when he saw his glory and spoke of him. Nevertheless, even among the rulers, many believed in him. But because of the Pharisees, they did not confess him, lest they should be put out of the synagogue, for they love the praise of men more than the love of God, than the praise of God. Yes, sir.
You spoke on a few minutes ago this sexual perversion,
Yes.
and we know that there's a lot going on in this world, even in the church. Now, if you don't speak out of this, like say for instance, if you're a son, and you don't speak out about it, even though you see it daily, Is that cowardly?
Yes and no. Every sermon, let's say if you're preaching and the Spirit of God moves you to say it, and then you're afraid to say it, then it's cowardly, yes. But every sermon, God may not be leading the preacher to say it every Sunday. Because he got other things he's going to say. You follow what I'm saying? I shouldn't be afraid to say it. Because the Spirit of God is moving this in my mind. Like I just did. Because it's out on YouTube. Anybody can watch it. They may take me on YouTube. I don't know the censor and everything else. I don't know. But there are people who are afraid to come out of the closet with Christ. They've embraced Christianity. But they know Christianity is being persecuted. And these are not just what we call quote-unquote ordinary people. I'm talking about people in politicians and CEOs. Privately they'll confess it. But publicly they won't do it because they love the praise of men more than love the praise of God. And we have to be careful too that we are not loving what men say about us, mankind say about us. That's good. And then God says, no, that's not good. I really have the praise of God and the praise of men. So they took down all these videos on Crossroads and Aletheia on YouTube because of what I'm saying. So be it. I'm not going to compromise for somebody to like me.
Amen.
I learned a long time ago to stop caring how folks feel about you. Because one thing you cannot do, you can't make a person like you who don't like you.
All right. All right.
Amen.
Amen.
And if they don't like my Lord, they won't like me either.
Amen. Amen.
Amen. And this is the way it is. Because Jesus told us a servant is not greater than his master. If they persecute the master, what are they going to do to his slave?
Amen.
Right? So both of them on the same team. Then Jesus cried out and said, he who believes in me, believes not in me, but him who sent me. And he who sees me, sees him who sent me. I have come as a light to the world. Whoever believes in me shall not abide in darkness. If anyone hears my words, does not believe, I do not judge him, for I did not come to judge with, but to say the word. He who rejects me does not reject my words, but he has not received my word. He has that which judges him. The word which I have spoken will judge him in the last day. For I have not spoken of my own authority, but my Father who sent me gave me a command that I should say and what I should speak. And I know that his command is everlasting life. Therefore, whatever I speak, just as Father has told me, so I speak. And so Jesus said, I'm just saying what the Father said. Basically, you reject me, you reject the Father. Please understand that. Because there's a group of individuals who will tell you, I love God, but I got a problem with Jesus. To which your reply should be, no, if you got a problem with Jesus, you got a problem with God.
Amen.
You cannot say you accept God and reject his son. That's why Islam is a lie. That's why Confucianism is a lie. Buddhism is a lie.
That's right.
Because they reject Jesus as the Son of God. And when you reject Jesus, the Son of God, you have rejected the true God.
Amen. Yes.
And the reason why we are hated is because we belong to an exclusive club.
Amen. Amen.
It's exclusive and it's inclusive. Jesus says, I am the way, there's only one way. I am the truth, there's only one truth. I am the light, there's only one life. It excludes everybody that don't embrace that, and includes everybody that does.
Amen. I like to hear that.
Yes, sir. Good.
That's powerful.
Yes, sir.
And so don't be surprised because you're part of that exclusive crowd that you're going to be rejected to.
Yes, sir.
So everybody's trying to get to heaven their own way.
Do it.
And they're making movies and all this kind of stuff. You know, churches are changing, trying to get the applause of men. They want members. And it's all right, they want members, but you should never compromise to get them.
Amen.
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 The withered fig tree. When evening had come, he went out into the city, out of the city rather. Now in the morning, as he passed by, he saw a fig tree dried up from the root. And Peter remembered him, saying, Rabbi, look, fig tree which you cursed is withered away. When the disciples saw it, they marveled. He said, how did the fig tree wither away so soon? So Jesus answered and said to them, have faith in God. Truly I say to you, if you have faith, whoever say to this mountain, be removed, be cast to the sea, and does not doubt in his heart, but believes that those things he says will be done, and he will have whatever he says. Therefore I say to you, whatever you ask when you pray, believe that you will receive them, and you will what?
Amen.
Wow. Seems to me like Jesus gave y'all a blank check. Just fill it in. Wow.
Because I've heard quite a few versions of that from several books and everybody else.
What he's saying, is that he's not talking about you just go Stone Mountain, tell Stone Mountain to move over there.
That's what some actually teach you.
Yeah. He's using figurative language. Talking about some of your most difficult problems and issues that you have. Trust God. Now, if you want to take that verse literally, I'd like to go with you, Stone Mountain, make sure you drive.
Come on.
I want to see it. While I eat my Klondike bar, I want to see you do it.
That's my
Now, he says, whatever you ask shall be done. Wow. Isn't that interesting? You mean if I ask for a new house and I believe I'm going to get it? That's what it seemed to suggest. Then how do you deal with it? Because there are people who believe this stuff. And they've been taught that view and teaching Sunday mornings from time immemorial. They got folks thinking, just go out there and name it and claim it. So what is Jesus saying? He's saying, therefore I say to you, whatever things you ask when you pray, believe them, and you shall have them. Confidently that God is able to provide them. Not doubting in your heart. Okay. But what he's saying is you got to pray according to God's will. You see, it's got to be according to his purpose and plan for your life. Consistent with his character. No good father, no good mother worth their salt gives their children everything they want. ruin them. Right? Every time you go to the store, you think they gotta have something. Right? Yeah, if I go to Walmart, my grandson will go with me. You think he's gonna have everything he wants in Walmart? Papa, no, you can't have that. So I go, I go. And then he laughs, and then we go out the store. You know, we don't appreciate things if we give a kid, but they don't if you give a kid everything they want. It's impossible to raise them properly. God doesn't give us everything we want. He does meet all of our needs. And whatever prayer you have asked God, up to this point in your life, that's according to God's will. He's already given it to you.
That's right.
I don't know why this doesn't keep acting up. Turn it down just a little bit, just slightly. Thank you. And whenever you stand praying, let's say get another one you stand doing. Whenever you stand praying, if you have anything against it, want to forgive them, that your Heavenly Father may forgive you also your trespass. If you do not forgive, then your Father will forgive you your trespass. What he's saying is that forgive people. It's good for you and me spiritually to forgive folks. Number one, you don't forgive, then God's going to come to me for forgiveness. When you got issues, when you screw up. Secondly, forgiving people helps you emotionally. We're going to see in the next class one of the things that drove Saul to madness was his anger. And his jealousy. There are psychiatrists that tell us that 90% of the people in mental institutions and are taking medications for mental issues can get well very soon. Probably just in 24 hours to learn how to forgive.
That's right.
Can you imagine? Most people in mental institutions are there because they're there, angry, and can't get past it. And messed up their mind. Keep this bomb over and over again. Just keep coming up over and over again. Forgive people. Forgive his wife, his husband. Your mama, your dad, your sister, your brother, whatever, your boss, whatever they've done. Forgive rid of all that. It ain't worth going crazy over. Every time I see you walking down the street. Yeah, I want that. All right, page 363.
Pastor, before you move on, can you address this part about the fig tree?
I think I did that before, didn't I?
Yeah.
Yeah, the fig tree, he cursed the fig tree because it had leaves on it. The leaves it came on the tree about a month earlier. And when you saw a fig tree in the first century that had leaves on it, you walk beside the road, the leaves tell you that when you walk on that tree, you should be able to get some figs. Okay? But the tree was showing a sign that it had figs when it really didn't have any figs, which he's talking about the nation. They're saying they got spiritual life, but they really didn't have it. And so he cursed the fig tree. Right. And then when he came back and saw it, You know, just cursing the fig tree is one thing, but actually seeing the results of the curse
Yeah.
was power. You here with it?
That still says that the Son killed that previous curse to nature.
Yes. Yes. He cursed their unfruitfulness. Yeah, they were barren as a nation. Because supposed to be a witness to the world. As he was teaching there in the temple, the chief priests, scribes, and leaders of the people sought to destroy him, and weren't able to do anything, for all the people were very attentive to hear him. Again, Jesus could not die until it was time for him to die. Now it happened on one of those days that he came again to Jerusalem. He came into the temple, he taught the people in the temple and preached the gospel. And as he was walking in the temple, the chief priests, scribes, and the elders of the people confronted him as he was teaching. And they said to him, "Tell us, by what authority are you doing these things? Who gave you the authority to do these things?" Jesus answered and said to them, "I would also ask you one question, which if you tell me, I likewise will tell you about what authority I do these things." All right, let me talk about the baptism of John. Was it from heaven or from men? Give me the answer. And they reasoned among themselves, saying, because they were good politicians.
Yeah.
If we say from heaven, he would say to us, then why do you not believe him? But if we say from men, we fear the multitude, for all the people will stone us, for they are persuaded that John was a prophet. Indeed. So they answered him and said, "We don't know." And Jesus answered and said to them, "Neither will I tell you about what I thought I do these things." They were scared to give an answer. Okay? And sometimes it's not even helpful to give people an answer when they ask you a question.
That's true.
Don't make any sense. They're not going to see what you say, no matter what you say. Leave it alone. But what do you think? A man had 2 sons, and he came to the first and said, "Son, go to work in my vineyard today." The answer said, "I would not, but I regretted it and went." Then he came to the second son likewise, and the answer said, "I go, sir." But he did not go. Which of the 2 sons did the will of his father? Let's say him the first. And Jesus said to them, "For truly I say to you that the tax collectors and the whores will enter the kingdom before you." But John came to you in the way of righteousness, you didn't believe him. But the tax collectors and the whores did. And when you saw it, you did not have to relent and believe. They said it first. The tax collectors, "Oh, we ain't thinking about that Jesus Christ." The other why they said, "Yeah, well, you're right." And they turned and believed. But the religious leaders who act like they believe, they didn't. So he said, "Listen, those are the ones going to be entering the kingdom. Because of your self-righteousness, you're going to be excluded." Because y'all do know it's hard to witness to religious people. You ask the average pastor if you say you're making God. He'll tell you, yeah. After you go into heaven, I don't know, can't nobody do that.
Wow.
Can't wait till you die. Yeah, I do know that about 85% of, maybe higher than that, about 85% of all African American churches nationwide teach and work salvation.
Yeah.
The pastors just don't know. They tell you got to do something to be saved. Other than believe. You got to live right. You got to do this. Just listen to them. They're right here, right?
I remember he got no
You go tell them all you got to do is believe to be saved. See what they tell you. You or whatever read. You need to read along. That's what they gonna tell you. They over there with that bad teaching. I don't know where that fella got that stuff from.
He opened his eyes with it.
But then what they tell you? You strange doctrine.
Wow. Don't forget, Pastor, you're a male chauvinist.
I'm all of that. I wear the badge proud. Then he began to tell the people this parable. Here's another parable. A parable is means to cast alongside. A parable means to throw something alongside. It's a true to life story that's designed to illustrate spiritual truth. Okay. One thing a parable doesn't have, it doesn't name names. Okay.
Question. If I said a parable is an earthly story with a divine meaning, would I be?
Yeah, with the meaning, yes, that's correct. But you want to also make it more, where people can understand what do you mean by heavenly meaning. Where there's an earthly, true to life story to help you to illustrate a truth that God is trying to communicate.
Right.
But there was a certain landowner who planted a vineyard and set a hedge around it. There was a fence around it, dug a wine press in it, with a place for the wine vat, built a tower. He leased it to the vine dressers and went into a far country for a long time. Now when the vintage time drew near, he sent out his servant to the vine dressers that he might receive some of the fruit of the vineyard from the vine dressers. And they took him and beat him and sent him away empty. Old Testament prophets. Again, he sent another servant. They beat him. And treated him shamefully and sent him away empty-handed. New Testament. And they sent a third and they beat through his stones and wounded him and cast him out. They said more and more to my all religious preachers that the Lord has sent. They said other servants, more than the first, and they do likewise, them beating and some and killing some. You know, the vineyard said, well, guess what I'm going to do? I'm going to send my own son. Sure, they ain't going to do that to him. So, probably they respect him and when they see him. Therefore, still having one son, his beloved, he sent him to them least of all. When the vine dressers saw him, they reasoned among themselves, and this is it, come let us kill him and seize the inheritance, which will be ours. So they took him and cast him out of the vineyard and killed him. Therefore, the owner of the vineyard, when the owner of the vineyard comes, what would he do to those vine dressers? They said he would destroy the wicked men miserably and lease his vineyard to other vine dressers who were rendering him fruit to their season. Jesus said, indeed, he would come destroy those vine dressers and give the vineyard to others. But others, when they heard it, said, certainly not. And he looked at them and said, have you not read in the scripture that it's written, the stone which the builder rejected has become the chief corner? And this is a marvelous thing the Lord is doing in our eyes. Now, what has happened, the sun goes out, the owner says, I said, all my servants out. You beat some, then you beat some and kill the others. Talking about the prophets and apostles and many of the religious leaders that believe with Jesus, teachers. Well, they treated my servants bad, but maybe I just sent my own son. Sure, they ain't gonna mess with him. They saw him too. Well, now they come to hell. Let's kill him and take what belong to him. And so that's when they come about Jesus. So when the owner, that is God the Father, comes, what is he going to do? He's going to take the vineyard from those vine dressers, Israel, who bore no fruit, and give it to another vine dresser who will bear fruit, the Gentiles. And the Gentiles are bearing fruit for the kingdom of God today that Israel is not doing.
Yeah.
He said, well, why is he going to do that? Have you not heard the stone which the builders rejected? Israel has become the chief corner stone. Just as the Lord's doing, his marvelous eye. Therefore I say to you, the kingdom will take them from you and give unto a nation bearing the fruits of it. Whoever falls on this stone will be broken. Whomever it falls, it will grind into powder. There'll be a great judgment. Now when the chief priests and the Pharisees heard this parable, he knew they were talking against him, them. And they sought to lay hands on him. The very hour. And they feared the people because they took him for a prophet. So they left him and did what? Went away. They understood the parable. They understood y'all got a history of killing God's men. That's what Jesus said. You got a history. Somebody trying to tell you the truth, you get rid of them. Isn't that amazing? It's still true today. They don't have to kill you physically. Yes, sir.
Back to the parable of Luke 16, that was considered a parable. Of the rich man and the poor.
No, a parable would name a name like Lazarus. That's a true story. That's not a parable. It's talking about giving you a literal picture of hell. Yeah. Parable would not name a proper name. It doesn't have any proper nouns in it or a name. Parable of the wedding invitation. Jesus answered and spoke to them again by a parable, said, the kingdom of heaven is like a certain king who arranged a marriage for his son. And he sent out his servants to call those who were invited to the wedding. They were not willing to come. Again, he sent out other servants, saying, tell those who are invited, see, I prepared my dinner, my oxen, my fatted calf is killed, all things are ready. Come to the wedding. But they made light of it and went their own way. One to his own farm, another to his business, and the rest seized the servants, treated them spitefully, and killed them. But when the king heard about it, he was furious. He sent out his armies, destroyed those murderers, and burned up their city. Then he said to the servant, the wedding is ready, but those who are invited are not worthy. Therefore go to the highways, as many as you can find, and invite them to the wedding. So the servant went out in the highways and gathered together all they found, both good and bad. And the wedding hall was filled with guests. But when the king came to see the guests, he saw a man there that did not have on a wedding garment. So he said, friend, how did you come in here without a wedding garment? He was speechless, and the king said to his servant, bind him hand and foot and take him away, and cast him into outer darkness, where there shall be weeping and gnashing of teeth. For many are called, but few are chosen. Jesus is having a wedding, and he's inviting Israel to the wedding. They got other plans. They ain't got time for Jesus. And Jesus is going to destroy this. They're going to destroy the city in 7 AD and the temple. This parable is going to come true, just like Jesus said. And so go and get those who are in the highways and hedges. Right? Both the good and those who are not deserving. Bring them to the wedding. And one fellow, he's going to be a party crasher. He ain't dressed for the occasion. So the king said to him, man, how you get in here? Friend, how do you get in here without having on the wedding garment? And he couldn't answer. So he said, take him and cast him out of darkness. But that should be weeping and gnashing of teeth. Okay. Here's a person he's not dressed for the occasion because he doesn't believe. He's not clothed in the righteousness of Christ. Okay? And so he wants to come in and be treated like the others who are clothed in the righteousness of Christ. And Jesus take him and cast him out of darkness.
All right.
Huh?
Got that now.
Well, I believe in the national teaching. There is a teaching, and some of my, a couple of my professors, who, back in '86, I heard Tony Evans preach on this passage at his church one evening, Sunday evening, went over there and listened to him. And when he got to the friend, he taught it that this is a believer. Because of the word friend. And that the outer darkness is like a person that's Six Flags. Thought I said that cherry blossom. They're in the park, but they ain't got no ticket to ride. Then they get no ticket to ride. And so he had a very, very tight and a good argument for his view. And one of his members approached me after the service next Tuesday in the student center at the seminary. He said, "What did you think about Tony's sermon?" I said, "It was a good sermon. He did a good job with it." He said, "What do you think about the word friend?" I said, "Disagree on that." And he said, "Well, why do you disagree with it? You know, it says friend." I said, "Yeah, but it also says out of darkness." And so I said his whole thesis was that friend there meant that this is a believer who's not going to enjoy heaven like others. He could use other passages to suggest that, but that's what he pretty much concluded. And I said, "Well, what about Judas? Jesus called Judas a friend. But yet at the same time, Judas was never saved. He's called the son of perdition." Tony got it from another professor of mine named Zane Hodges, a very fine Greek scholar, taught me Greek. And he came over that view too, and again, they stuck on the word friend. Why would Jesus call this fellow a friend if he was not a believer? Well, then why would Jesus cast a friend out of darkness? That don't make any sense. Because everywhere the words out of darkness is used of hell. It says weeping and gnashing of teeth, which means to suffer. So it can't mean, you know, I'm in the fair. But I can't enjoy the ride because they ain't got nobody for the ride. You got what I'm saying? Ain't nothing good about this story about out of darkness. Yeah. But, you know, he's a good preacher, good teacher. I just remember that from 1986, where he expounds that.
You still remember something don't sit right with you. Don't sit right with the word.
Yeah. I remember that because when he was arguing, wait a minute. Okay. I can still remember my reaction. I'm just sitting there, you know. And the first thing that came to my mind, what about Judas? Jesus said, "Friend, do what you're going to do quicker." You know, how do you deal with that passage? Of course, the guy asked me the question, didn't have an answer. He said, "I never thought about it." So you better look it up, because you know, you got to deal with that too. For many are called. Many are what? There's a general call. And then that is an effective call. Few of what? The gospel goes out to everybody. But only a few will respond. The ones that respond are chosen. Now you got a problem with it, take it up with God.
Amen.
Yes, sir.
So many people have a problem with that.
They never heard it before.
I understand, and I try to explain it, but no end to it.
Yeah, man.
I gave up.
Well, don't give up, but they got to hear it 4 or 5 times before they start even saying.
Well, I can't answer because they'll ask the question, how come God chose some and didn't choose the other? That's not fact. And I've been taught, you know where I got it from.
Yep.
God can do what he wants to.
What?
Yeah.
That's right.
And if he's a just God and want to be just, he's a just God. He can sit everybody here
That's right.
and be just
Yeah, and be fair.
and be fair.
Yeah.
But they don't want to hear that. And I don't understand why y'all want to hear the truth, but
Because
they don't.
well, you're breaking new ground.
Yeah.
Amen.
And when you break new ground, you're going to have some rocks in the dirt too. I mean, look how long I've been doing this here in Macon. Since 1988. And I started over at Progressive with Reverend Todd, teaching at his school over there. He did that from 88 to 92. And I taught at Georgia Baptist thing over at Mercer for a semester. And it's taking a while. So we get that Georgia Red Clay now.
Okay. Hold on.
They're gonna take a minute. Sometimes you gotta keep putting some little water on, try to soften it up a little bit. Everything you gotta soften up, and the sun come out, and it's hard once you get soft. It's difficult. You're gonna have some difficulties too. Some of y'all already experiencing it. You can't talk to some of your own friends about the Bible now.
Sure, true.
Because you gotta talk to your own family about it.
Yeah.
That's true.
Yeah, you can't do it now, okay, because they got one way of they believe something that's totally foreign to the text, and you come in, it's uncomfortable to get rid of some of that. It's really uncomfortable. When you held a view for so long, when you find that that's not right, it's almost like stripping you naked, and they don't want that. It's very uncomfortable. So they'll fight to hold on to it, like the Pharisees, they'll fight to hold on to it.
So it's like a tradition.
Yes. Well, see, none of you in this room, in this school here, you listen to a sermon the same way you did before you came here.
Amen.
I got criticized for that.
Huh?
I got criticized for that one time. Because first I went to church with, and they asked me about the sermon, and I thought, bringing out some of the stuff we learned here, they criticized me. You ain't supposed to be doing that. That's what person wanted to criticize. It's hard to sit up and listen to that stuff.
Yeah.
And you know it's not true.
Yeah, I just say sometimes, some people invite me to go, and I go and hear the sermon. How'd you like the sermon? It was interesting. Never heard of that guy before. But if you tell them you didn't like it, they're gonna think you argue. Yeah, so sometimes just
I couldn't make it back.
yeah, so they can't take it. So, all right, let's take a break.